All right, Festivus for the rest of his 5K race recap. It was held this morning, December 18th, 2022. I think the event was very successful this morning. I actually had a real blast putting it on, getting it together, watching everybody run this morning, finishing, taking pictures, enjoying life, talking inside the fire hall afterwards. It was a real good event. I'll thank the sponsors first. I got the shirt in front of me, that way I don't forget anybody. Richland Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, RJ Hedges and Associates, Sheets, Mainline Pharmacy, FWF Insurance, Somerset Trust, Allied Milk Producers, Janie Financial Advisors, Danchenko Incorporated, Major Builders, Wicked Googly, Ideal Market, and Donna Christopher State Farm. Got the shirt right here. Got the sponsors on the back. It might be a little backwards, but can't help that right now. And there was a shirt. I think we had 67 show up this morning. We had 78 pre-registered, but with the weather conditions and it being cold, I expected not as many people to show up, but I think we had, we'll say like 10-ish day of registration, so that's pretty cool. When I was out marking the course this morning, I got out there about 7:30, started putting some the turn signs up, and I was using some Peak spray chalk on the roads. Roads actually weren't too bad when I was walking on them. The snow was just a little fluffy, so you could actually run a little bit. Then I guess between 7:30 when I was out and 10 o'clock, it did freeze over a little bit. Must have got a little bit hotter and then froze a little bit because people were talking about it being slippy. And then when I was driving to pick the stuff back up later, it was a little bit slick out. So it must have did that little like flash melted and then like a flash freeze. And then just from people running on it and then the vehicle traffic, I think just made it compressed a little bit and a little bit slick. I know a couple people said they fell, but nobody got hurt. So that's a good thing. I had an awesome group of volunteers help me today. Barbara and Vanessa Ute at registration. My buddy John Gagorchik being my right-hand man today. My dad out at the water stop. Tons of New Florence volunteer firemen. Auxiliary. I had the the Westmoreland Command Center came in and helped us out a lot. So we had somebody at every single turn this morning, which was awesome. Way more than I could hope for and expected. So nobody got lost, which is a great thing to have happen at a race. So I think we had at least, I want to say 15 firemen at the different couple of turns. There wasn't 15 turns. But we had a couple at a couple different spots, just to keep things safer. Then I had my buddy Nick Hemming. He led the people out to the race towards the game lands. We had a Seward, I think it was Seward or New Florence. I forget which truck it was today, actually following in the rear. The last person, that way make sure the course is clear and then there's no traffic trying to come up from behind them. So we had a lot of support from the fire company today, which is awesome. Again, I think everybody had a good time. I had a good time. There was a lot of pictures being taken inside the fire hall at the inflatable Festivus pool, the dog, the actual metal Festivus pools with the Gerald Stiller cutout. Again, I tried to make this race fun, not just while running it, but after the race and pre-race. That way, if you do things like that so you can take pictures and remember the race, it helps promote the race down the future, and B, which is the most important thing, it gives you a lasting memory to keep with you and then share with your friends and family. Hey, look, I did this. And like even today, made it a little bit more tougher with the conditions being slick. I know at the start, I was like, oh crap, it is a little bit slick here at the start. So we had to tell people to watch when they first started going out, because it got really slick there from all the traffic. I think things went really smooth. It was, I don't want to say it was shocking, but it was amazing how smooth things went. Like, registration went through pretty good. Setup was pretty good. Since this is the second year with the firemen, and then the second year for the race itself, they all knew what to do, so I didn't have to worry about telling them go here, go there, stand this, do that. You know, they knew from last year, and they had a plan set up in place with a map, and they just did their thing. And then once the back and the last person came through, then they started filtering back to the fire hall, and you could see them one by one coming back in, which was pretty neat to watch as well. I did get the video, the finish line with my GoPro, so I think it's like a 44-minute video I'll have up here the next day or two. It did shut off a couple of times, like when the first person came through and then second person came through, then I had to switch some settings. So I should have got everybody after that. At least from like the top 5 on, I should have everybody on video coming in. Again, another quick memento and just a way to remember the race. You know, just seeing the atmosphere of people coming in. Tons of people dressed up today. 2 ladies came as the, dressed up in the Christmas story. One was a lamp, and one was wearing the pink rabbit outfit, which made my day. My buddy Ron Orr carried a nice flag today, like a Santa Claus on a beach type thing. Some people wearing sweaters, dressed up in Christmas attire, which I encouraged. I know we call it Festivus for the rest of us, and it's not really a Christmas holiday, but I told people, dress up, support Christmas, because that's what it's all about, coming and having fun. And I encourage people to dress up in whatever holiday that they celebrate, like Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, Festivus. Even if they wanted to dress up for New Year or summer solstice, I encourage that. It makes the race so much more fun. And I'm glad all these people dressed up today. It just lightened the atmosphere a lot more. And people really enjoyed seeing the people dressed up. I know I did. Even the firemen and volunteers enjoyed that as well. And some of the people spectating. I know there was a couple people today that this was their first race. So I appreciate that. You choosing one of the races that I direct as your first race. I hope you continue to run and enjoy the running sport. Hopefully I see you out there again sooner than later. If you need anything, let me know. Let's see here. Award ceremony went pretty good. We actually wrapped up everybody, I think, 10 minutes before. So what was the cut? 11:15 or something. I think we were done at 11:05. At the very latest, I think it was actually like 11:03. So we were like 10 minutes ahead of schedule. So I started the awards 10 minutes early today, which was awesome. Gets people out instead of sitting around wasting their day a little bit. But so that was pretty good. Like I said, things went really smooth today, even with the conditions and a couple of people falling. I did test out the trail cameras. If you saw some of my other posts about using trail cameras for races, to take some pictures and just capture things, and, you know, maybe to, not necessarily this race, but other races like curb cheating and cutting course. So I wanted to test this out today because it was the first race since I thought about the idea. And I think the pictures went really well today. You guys be the judge of that, because ultimately it's on you guys to let me know if you guys like the idea or not. And the pictures that they took, they're not the greatest trail cameras. I think they're only like 18 megapixels. The one downside to these cameras that I bought, and I didn't know that beforehand, there's like a 5-second delay, which I want to find some better ones, maybe with like a 1-second delay. So being a race, you know, you're not going to miss anybody come through. You can go bam, bam, bam. But I set it up for like a 3-picture shoot real quick. So if it got set off, it would take 3. So I was hoping to catch a couple more people that way. So that's just something that I have to work on. But again, I think the pictures are just going to add an extra element of fun and another way to share memories of the race, to see you at different parts of the race and see maybe how your face looked. Maybe today it got a little bit colder or redder, say like midway, and then even more so near the finish line. I did take a bunch of pictures at the finish line. I got a couple clips as well. My buddy was taking some finish line pictures. And then we got pictures of the awards, people standing in front of the 2 Festivus poles and the Gerald Stiller cutout. I think that was a really good setup today. People really seem to enjoy that. I think that it's a really good, you know, a way to get the word out and just get more people next year, because this is a fundraiser for the New Florence Volunteer Fire Company. So I'm hoping these pictures and the little extra things that I do help bring in more participation next year, so we can raise more money and get some more sponsors for the fire company, so they can continue serving the community as they do now, which they do a hell of a job. The ladies today made some hot chocolate, some coffee, some chili. I brought some snacks. We got the milk, water. I think we had a nice little spread for the crowd that we had. The competition seemed pretty good today. I know some people came from over an hour away. Altoona, Patton, like Pittsburgh way. Geez, I'm trying to think offhand where everybody came from. Then there, of course, there were some local people, you know, Ligonier, Johnstown, Indiana. So we had a really good mix with the crowd today. Even with the road conditions, I heard weren't necessarily the best towards Altoona and Evansburg, or further down like Delmont way towards 22, on 22. So I'm thankful for everybody making it safe, and I hope you guys all made it safe home. Yes, cleanup went pretty good. Maybe half an hour after the race, everything was cleaned up, and I was driving around making sure all the signs, and I picked up the trail cameras. If you don't know offhand, I had one trail camera out by the furnace. The original plan was to have it on the fence or put a stake in so it's shooting across at the furnace to get you like the backdrop on the furnace. But I thought with the snow, having the backdrop of the farm would be a little bit better. And with the conditions this morning, I didn't have time to hammer in another stake or anything in the ground. So that's why I didn't do it that way. Because I was a little bit rushed this morning with the conditions. I wanted to make sure everything got done and set up. And then the other one was at the top of the big hill that you climbed about, we'll say 2.4, 2.5 into the race in my buddy's driveway. I wasn't sure about the angle because it was on a bank, and I tried to angle it down for people, but turns out I got a lot of good pictures from that. So again, I think they work. They might need a little bit more tweaking. But again, when I threw them up this morning, I didn't have a lot of time to play around, look at the angles, and get the best view. My dad said the water stop went pretty good. They had no issues out there. A couple of the firemen and other volunteers I talked to, they said they had no issues with people going the wrong way. I didn't hear anybody going the wrong way during the race. I don't think anybody did. It would have been really hard today. Even though with those pink arrows, I was using this spray chalk I bought off of Amazon. It comes in an aerosol can. I picked pink because I figured it would show up better on a black asphalted road. I didn't know if it was really going to work well this morning with the snow, but when I sprayed it, it showed up a little pretty good on the asphalt and top of the snow. And I think even when it melted a little bit, you could still see it. Obviously, I would like drier conditions to put it down so it stays better, but you really didn't need it. And a couple people I talked to said they saw them, but they really didn't need it because there was enough volunteers at every turn. And the way I instructed everybody this morning was, do not turn at all unless there's a volunteer telling you to turn. So with that in people's minds, they really didn't have to look for the arrows. The arrows were just there as a backup. Even the signs that I had were just as a backup in case something major happened that the fire company had to get pulled for something, like a big house fire, like, 50-car pileup where I honestly had to get, pulled. Thankfully, that doesn't happen or didn't happen. But those are just like backup things that I thought about for just those in case scenarios. Again, luckily, we didn't have any of that happen, and I hope we never do. yeah, everybody seemed to be in a good mood when I walked in. After everybody finished, I didn't really hear any complaints. If there is any complaints, please let me know. The only thing that I can't control, again, is the weather. Being December, in the middle of December, you never know what the conditions are going to be. Hope that doesn't deter anybody from coming back. But people also said, hey, we're runners. We're used to this. We know this could be a possibility. And it adds an extra element of, I don't want to say difficulty, but I guess it does, and fun. Since there was some snow today, and we really haven't gotten much this year. We only have like a little bit more than a dusting today. So I think people really like that, just seeing that like fresh snow and once they got towards the game lands. I could be wrong. Don't know what else to say. I'm just thankful that everybody came. Everybody made it safe to the race. Hopefully everybody made it home safe from the race. I hope everybody enjoyed the race. Hope everybody comes back next year. I really do enjoy this race. If you don't know, this is my hometown race in New Florence. This is actually where I started racing. This was actually my first race back like 15 years ago. It went away for a couple years, but I wanted to bring it back because since it's where I started, I guess nostalgia a little bit. Plus, I'm giving back to the community by helping, by race directing it and giving back to the New Florence Volunteer Fire Company. So I like to do that. I like doing this. So please continue to support me, support the races that I do, and everything else that I do. If you need anything running-wise, like tips, tricks, any information of races in the area, get a hold of me. I'm here to help you. Trying to wrap this up. Yeah, I'll have the finish line video up, obviously, the same time as this video gets up, probably within an hour. All the pictures are going to be in the Only I Athletics page in one big album. So if you do have any pictures that you took, please send them to me so I could add them to the album. Don't just tag me. Please, either email me or send me a direct message on Facebook, whether on the Only I Athletics page or my personal Facebook, Dean Banco, so I can get them and put them into the album. If you want to share, I encourage you to share. The more pictures and the more happy faces I can see, the better. I really enjoy seeing everybody's pictures and the different poses and, them smiling, having a good time. It makes me feel good and reassures that I'm doing a good job. So yeah, please do that. Look for it to be the same time next year, roughly, like the middle of December, the weekend before Festivus. That's the plan again. New Florence Volunteer Fire Company was already asking if we're going to do it again next year, and I told them yes, as long as they want to. So I'm going to start working on permissions again from the township and the borough, getting things rolling, getting a date set up, so registration get up open sooner the better. That way you can put it on your calendar. Maybe I'll put some more surprises in next year. The only real thing that I added this year was that inflatable dog. I didn't want to spend too much money because this is a fundraiser, but I think next year I'll try to find a couple more Festivus theme type things if I can. Make it a little bit better. So if you have any suggestions or anything you want to add, please reach out. If you have any complaints, reach out to me. Don't blame anybody but me. So other than that, hope you had a good time. Hopefully I see you guys all soon. If I don't see you soon, hopefully your training goes well till I do see you again. Hopefully you're safe. You have a good holiday season. And I hope you have a good start to the 2023. And yeah, that's it. So have a good one and see you guys soon.